And so, hello there, and welcome back to another Night of the Movies podcast. I'm Spy Knight, and in these podcasts, I like talking all things, movies and TV, and whatever I want, whenever I want. And in today's podcast, I'm continuing on with my Christmas film reviews as I review Jack Frost. So, let's get into it, shall we? Jack Frost. Continuing on with my Christmas film reviews, because I haven't done a Christmas film review since I did my review of How the Grinch Stole Christmas a couple of weeks back on this channel now. I was hoping to do much more Christmas film reviews on this channel this year, but time has got the better of me. You know, I am so busy right now, as I'm sure everybody is around this time of the year. And I just haven't found the time to do other Christmas film reviews. So I'll probably just do this review today, and then maybe review another Christmas film just before Christmas if I get the chance. I'm also hoping to do my top 10 films of the year, my least favourite and my favourite films of the year before Christmas, and I've got some other reviews that I'm probably going to be getting out there before Christmas as well, so I don't know how much time I'm going to have, but hopefully I'll get another Christmas film review in before the day itself, before Christmas Day itself. But as of today, I am reviewing Jack Frost. Yes, the film where Michael Keaton becomes a snowman. Well, should I say, dead Michael Keaton becomes a snowman. You know, this was one of those films where, growing up, I watched it quite a bit. I remember it being on around the Christmas period, whether it was on broadcast television or whether my brother stuck it on DVD. It was always one of those films I remember watching at Christmas from a young age, but I hadn't seen it for quite a bit of time until last week, until I saw that it was on Netflix, and I had a bit of free time, which feels like a pipe dream right now, but I had a bit of free time, and I saw it was on Netflix, and I thought, let's give it a go, let's see if it's actually any good, because sometimes when you watch a film when you're a kid, you have a different perspective on it when you watch it at an older age, and I thought that maybe that was going to be the case with Jack Frost, but I also thought maybe it wouldn't be the case. You know, I know this isn't a beloved Christmas film, but sometimes I watch Christmas films which aren't beloved Christmas films. I don't know if you'd call Polar Express a beloved Christmas film. I know everybody knows about it, but I wouldn't call it beloved. You know, I think it's just a very, this is bad English, but I think it's a very known about film. You know what I mean? I think it's a film that everybody knows about. It's the point I'm making. And I don't necessarily think it's a beloved Christmas classic, though, for most people, but it is for me. And I was wondering if Jack Frost is going to be another instance of that. So I went into watching the film on Netflix the other day with an open mind, hoping to have a bit of fun, hoping to feel Christmassy after watching it, and hoping to connect with it in a certain way. And the Google plot synopsis for this film goes as follows. When Charlie's father, Jack Frost, played by Michael Keaton in this film, dies in a car accident, Charlie slips into depression at a young age. However, his joy meets no bounds when Jack returns as a snowman to spend quality time with him. And that's pretty much all you need to know about this film, in case you haven't seen it yet. And honestly, this film is rubbish. I mean, it is just rubbish. However, I didn't think it was offensively bad. And I will say it has its heart in the right place. Give credit where credit's due. This film has its heart in the right place. Because really this film, at least this is what I got from it, really it's all about a son wanting to reconnect. It's all about a father wanting to reconnect with his son, and it's all about a son wanting to spend time with his father, which he never really got a chance to, because at the start of the film you see that Jack Frost, he's always running off to go and do things with his band. You know, even on Christmas Day he has to go and perform something at some concert with his band, so he doesn't get to spend quality time with his family. And then when he comes back as a snowman, he finally gets to spend that quality time with his son. And on a personal level, that worked for me, because I've spoken about this on the channel in the past. I lost my dad. You know, he died of cancer a couple of years ago now, and that idea of your dad coming back in a different form after he died, getting to spend more time with him and getting to say those things and getting to do those things which you now want to do after he's no longer with you, that, you know, that worked for me. That whole idea of just getting to spend more time with your dad after they passed away. Yeah, I liked that idea quite a bit, and I did feel empathy for the kid when he lost his dad. When you see, what's the character's name? It says on the Google plot synopsis, Charlie. When you see Charlie lose his dad and you see the effect it had on him, I felt empathy for him because I know firsthand what that is like. So yeah, it did hit me emotionally there, and that's where the film did work for me, and that's why I didn't think it was offensively bad, because I did think it had its heart in the right place. That being said, the problem with the film is everything else. It is terribly written. Like, the dialogue in this film is horrifically bad. One of the worst pieces of dialogue in this film is when Charlie says to Snowman, "Dad, you're the man," and Jack Frost, as the Snowman, says, "No, I'm the Snowman." Ugh. There's another bit in this film where you see this bully who's been bullying Charlie throughout the film, but Charlie asks for his help. And then the bully says, "Well, Snow Dad's better than no dad." Dialogue which, you know, George Lucas, who wrote some atrocious dialogue for the Star Wars prequel trilogy, would be proud of. I mean, the dialogue for this film is absolutely awful. And what happens in the film doesn't really make sense. Like, I'm not sure why this was the story they decided to tell when it came to this idea. Because you really could have told a heartwarming story about a family connecting when they didn't really get to connect early on in life. You know what I mean? But the film doesn't really go in that direction. It's more, there's action sequences in this film. I mean, there's one chase sequence where these bullies are chasing Charlie and his dad, who's a snowman by this point. And by the way, it takes about an hour for him to actually become a snowman in this film. I was wondering when the whole snowman element of the film was going to kick in. They don't actually get to the whole snowman of it all till about an hour into the film. And when they do, I mean, the way the snowman looks, might give you nightmares. But anyway, go back onto what I was saying. There's a whole chase sequence in the film, and you're sat there going, why is this important? I don't understand the point of this chase sequence, and yet you can clearly tell there's been a lot of money spent on it to make the visual effects work in the chase sequence and to make it exciting. And there's this sort of, you know, one of those early 2000s rock songs playing in the background on the chase sequence. You're like, I'm sorry, what is this? First of all, the movie came out in 1998. Why does it feel like it came out in 2002 or 2003? I don't understand why there's this cheesy rock song playing in the background that sounds like it comes from the early noughties. But also, why are we having a chase sequence? What's the purpose of this? And the answer is, there isn't a purpose. So much of this film feels like missed opportunity after missed opportunity. Like, I'm going to get into a bit of spoilers here in case people don't know anything about this film, so here's your spoiler warning. Basically, Jack Frost has to go away at the end of the film. Surprise, surprise. Everybody knew that was going to happen. But the problem with that is how he goes away, how he has to disappear for good. He disappears on Christmas morning with no reason. He says goodbye to Charlie, his son, and he says goodbye to his wife on Christmas morning later on in the film. And you're like, why is he going away on Christmas morning? There's no good explanation. Because it isn't like he was melting away. You literally see him go away and there's snowy mountains all around him. And like, well, he could stay a couple of days here. He doesn't have to melt. So it's not like he was melting. They just decided for him to go away on Christmas morning, which doesn't make any sense. Like, imagine you waking up on Christmas morning and learning that your father had to go away. Imagine how sad and... God, imagine how much that would affect you. And in this film, Charlie doesn't seem that bothered by it. It's Christmas morning and his father has to go away, but he's just happy that he got to spend some time with him. I'm like, But this is meant to be a Christmas film. Why is he going away on Christmas morning? Why doesn't he go away on Boxing Day instead? Or why does he not? Or why doesn't he go away on the 27th instead? Or why did he go away on New Year's instead? Why doesn't he stay another week or so? Because clearly it snows quite a lot in this town where the film is set, and you can see snowy mountains full of snow in the background when you see Jack Frost going away for good, and yet they're making a point about he has to go away. Now is his time to go away, but there's no reason for him to go away. And it just takes the Christmas out of it all, because this film did not feel like a Christmas film. And that's its biggest crime. I always say that when it comes to a Christmas movie that isn't any good. And the Christmas movie usually isn't any good if it doesn't make you feel Christmassy. And this film did not make me feel Christmassy. I mean, almost nothing in this film made me feel Christmassy. Sure, there's a bunch of Christmas imagery in there. You see Christmas trees, you see snow, characters say Merry Christmas to each other or Happy Christmas, and there's a snowman, and obviously snowmen have become, synonymous with Christmas and all that jazz. But I spoke about this when I was reviewing Red One about a month ago now on this channel, and I said I had the same problem with Red One as I had with this film. Christmas imagery doesn't immediately make a film Christmassy. It can to a certain point, but also the film itself has got to deliver the Christmas message. It's got to deliver the Christmas message. The musical score has got to make you feel warmly. It's got to make you feel like it's Christmas. And the film itself has to make you feel like it's Christmas. I would actually argue that Die Hard is more of a Christmas film than this film. I mean, Die Hard is a Christmas film. There's no argument there. I don't understand why there is an argument. Die Hard is a Christmas movie. I watch it every Christmas. I know that doesn't make it a Christmas film. That made me sound a bit arrogant there. I watch it every Christmas. That means it is actually a Christmas movie. No, not just because I watch it every Christmas, but there's tons of... there's Christmas all around that movie. You know what I mean? Like, one of the main plot points of the film is that they're having a Christmas party early on. That's when the terrorists come in. Then you get that bit, I have a machine gun now, ho, ho, ho. I might be misremembering it, but that adds to the whole Christmas aspect of it all. The film ends with a Christmas song. I think it ends with Let It Snow by Dean Martin playing. You see it snow in the film. It's set at Christmas. You see about as many Christmas trees in Die Hard as you see in this film. I did not expect to be comparing Die Hard to Jack Frost that much in this review today, but here we are. So yeah, I would say there's actually more Christmassy stuff in Die Hard than there is in Jack Frost. I mean, Die Hard has those messages about Christmas in it as well. It's got the message about how you should come together at Christmas, how you should put your differences aside. And that's what, John McClane and his wife do in that film at the end of Die Hard. But Jack Frost, it's got a nice message in there, which I admired about it. Message about how, you should spend as much quality time with your family, and particularly, if you're a father, you spend as much quality time with your son as possible, and vice versa. But at the same time, though, it's not a Christmas message. That message could be applied at any time of the year to any film. I've seen quite a few films when that message is applied, and they haven't been Christmas films. Really, this didn't have to be a Christmas film. Sure, it has snow in it, but snow doesn't automatically make it a Christmas film. If snow made films Christmassy, therefore Empire Strikes Back, one of the best ones of all time, by the way, but Empire Strikes Back would be a Christmas film, but it's not. I watch it every Christmas, but it's not a Christmas film. John Carpenter's The Thing would be a Christmas film, but it's not. Come on, it's not. And snow doesn't automatically make it a Christmas film. So yeah, there's loads of snow in this film, but it doesn't make it Christmassy. It just means it's set at that time of the year. Guess what other film is set at Christmas but isn't a Christmas film? Peter Jackson's King Kong, which came out in 2005 and stars the likes of Jack Black and Adrian Brody. That's a film that's set at Christmas. But it's not a Christmas film. You get the point I'm making. This didn't need to be a Christmas film. They just set it at Christmas, and from the sounds of it, they released it at Christmas to cash in on the Christmas market. But again, it didn't need to be a Christmas film. There's nothing about it which really makes me feel Christmassy. And that's its biggest crime. A Christmas film doesn't make you feel Christmassy. It is not succeeding in its job. And it's a very strange film because it wants to be this family movie. It wants to be this family Christmas film, kind of on the same lines as Home Alone. Was Home Alone before this? Yes, Home Alone was 1990. So yes, it wants to be in the same lines as Home Alone, kind of. It wants to be one of these family Christmas films, you know. But it feels like it's being aimed at teens and young adults with this humour. Like, there's quite a bit of rude humour in this film, which feels like it would only work for people who are of an adolescent age, who have maybe just hit puberty, you know, or maybe who are in the early 20s or something like that. It feels like it's more aimed at a younger audience, and I do not think a family would sit around to watch this film and each member of the family would get something out of it. I do not think that would be the case. I feel that the older members of the family would be repulsed by some of the humour in this film, and the younger members of the family simply wouldn't get it, because there's rude humour in this film that doesn't need to be there. And most of the humour in this film really didn't work for me. It wants to be this comedy, but the times I laughed were at Mark Addy's character, and that's because I love Mark Addy as an actor. I've loved him ever since I saw him in Knight's Tale. I think he's great in Full Monty. I even liked him in Game of Thrones. I mean, I didn't like the character he played, but he was really good in Game of Thrones. And I pretty much like him in anything he's in. And I liked him in this film because, I mean, it seemed like he was there for the paycheck, but also he was delivering comedy in a British way, which worked to me. Like, at one point in the film, he sees Charlie acting all strangely because Charlie just realised that his dad's now come back as a snowman. And then Mark Addy's character goes, "What the bloody hell are you doing?" I mean, he says it in a much funnier way than I just did, but you get the point I'm making. Mark Addy's actually funny in the film because I think I found him funny because I usually find Mark Addy funny in other stuff. So I liked him in the film, and I did laugh at most of the stuff he said. Everybody else in the film isn't funny, and Michael Keaton kind of seems like he's phoning it in. I mean, you can tell he's kind of trying. I mean, say that lightly because at the same time, it does not feel like he really has his heart into this film, and it did feel like he didn't get that much direction. I don't think it's a strong performance from Michael Keaton. I don't think the kid's bad. The kid's actually alright in this film. Sometimes I watch kids in the films and I don't think they're that good, but I thought the kid in this movie was actually decent. I thought it was pretty good. But yeah, Michael Keaton wasn't the best. I love Michael Keaton, so that was a bit of a surprise to say. And oh my god, I haven't got onto the Snowman of it yet. Oh, the Jack Frost of it all. The Frosty the Snowman of it all. The Snowman of it all. So apparently the Snowman was created by the Jim Henson Company for this film. And if you don't know who the Jim Henson Company is, they were the company behind the Muppets, you know? And the Muppets Christmas Carol, one of the best Christmas films of all time. I don't quite know what they were thinking when they were designing the Jack Frost look in this film, because the Snowman looks disturbing, and I mean disturbing with a capital D. You see him in this film, you're like, okay, why does he look like that? Why does he look so surreal? And what's really weird in the film is when you see certain characters meet the Snowman, I'm like, oh my god, it's a talking snowman, and certain characters are horrified by it, like it's a horror movie, you know what I mean? Sometimes when you look at the Snowman in the film, it does feel like a horror movie, but still, you know, there's some characters in the film, they see him, they go, he's a snowman, oh my god, he's a talking snowman, but then there's other characters in the film that see him, and they're just like, oh, he's a talking snowman. You know, it doesn't really seem like they're bothered by him. And this snowman, you see Jack Frost and his son, Jack Frost as a snowman and his son interacting on this street where they live. And it's a busy street, there's loads of people living there. But no one seems to realise that they have a talking snowman on their front lawn. No one realised, and the snowman looked quite disturbing, and you could tell when there was somebody in the costume playing the snowman, and you can tell when the snowman was done by CGI. It was obvious, and it did not work, and the snowman did not look, it did not make me feel warmly in this film, you know what I mean? It did not look nice. It looked like it was I don't know. I can't quite understand what they're going for with the look of the snowman. I can't quite understand what they're going for with the look of Jack Frost as a snowman in this film. Also, why was there not any Christmas songs used in this movie? All the songs used in this film, like I've already said, feel like they come from the early noughties, the early 2000s, which is weird because the film came out in 1998. But all the songs feel like those cheesy rock songs that were around in the early 2000s, you know? They sound like they could come from Blink-182, you know what I mean? And they're not Christmas songs. As far as I remember, there's only one Christmas song actually in the film, and that's the song that opens the movie. It's not a bad song that opens it. You see Michael Keaton singing. I'm not sure it was actually Michael Keaton singing. Might have been. Don't know. Maybe Michael Keaton can sing really well. But that's how the film opens. And I was like, oh, there's a Christmas song. Hopefully we're going to hear some other Christmas songs as the film goes on. No. As far as I can remember anyway, there's no other Christmas songs used in this film, and yet there are a bunch of needle drops in there. There are a bunch of songs used in this movie, but why weren't they Christmassy? Why did we not have Last Christmas at one point? Last Christmas would have been great for the film. Maybe just couldn't afford it, or maybe Wham didn't want them to use it. I'm going to guess it's probably the latter, you know? Why didn't they have more Christmas songs in this film, though? It would have added a Christmas film more to it. Because, again, that's why I think Die Hard is a Christmas movie. Because it ends with a Christmas song. And it makes you feel like it's Christmas. And that's one of the reasons I watch Die Hard every Christmas. But I think subconsciously, it's one of the reasons I haven't watched Jack Frost for a very, very long time. Because it doesn't really feel Christmassy. And that's a shame. You know, it's a song about a snowman. But in reality, it didn't need to be about a snowman. It could have been about anything else. Jack Frost could have come back as a completely different thing. He could have come back as a cloud. I don't know why I thought that all of a sudden. But he could have come back as an apple. He could have come back as a food. He could have come back as, I don't know, a piece of furniture. The point I'm making is he didn't need to come back as a snowman. This didn't need to be the thing it was. And it would have been the exact same film with the exact same story. It didn't need to be a Christmas movie. And that is biggest crime. It's terribly written. It's at times very perplexing to watch because you're not really sure why things are happening. It's full, and I mean full, of missed opportunities. And it's just a very odd film that doesn't really know what it wants to be. And I'm not sure why they ended it the way they did. The film ends on Christmas morning. It really should have ended on Christmas night, if anything. At least then, Jack Frost could have got to actually spend Christmas Day with his family. Because I thought that was what was going to happen early on in the film. Because early on in the film, you get the impression that Jack Frost never really gets to spend much time with his family. And then you see that he doesn't get to spend Christmas with his family because of the car accident. And yet, when he comes back as a snowman, he doesn't get to spend Christmas with his family all over again. It's like, what was the point then? What was the point of this film? I don't know. It's not a Christmas film, really. It pretends to be, but it's not really, and that's its big problem. That being said, I would watch it over Red One again. I mean, there's a lot of Christmas films that I don't like, which I'd watch over Red One again. You know, I would rewatch Deck the Halls. I would rewatch The Holiday, which I hate. I mean, I don't hate The Holiday, actually. But I really don't like it. Actually, no, I probably do hate it. Yeah, I would rewatch those two movies that come to mind. There are probably other Christmas films that I really don't like. Santa Claus 3, The Escape Clause. I would rewatch these other rubbish Christmas movies over Red One again. And I include Jack Frost in that list. Because at least it had its heart in the right place. And it had a nice message. And the actors seemed relatively committed to what they were doing. And it wasn't offensively bad. It had its moments. You know? But ultimately, it's a film which misses its mark. And it misses its mark from a long distance, you know? It misses its mark from a very long distance. Yeah. And so, all in all, I'm going to say that Jack Frost, I'm going to say it's a 2 out of 10. I'm giving it that 2 simply for the message. Because I do like the message of the film. And I don't think Mark Addy's bad. I don't think Michael Keaton's bad in it. He's just not good in it, really. He's not great in it. You know, he could have been. But I think those two elements are alright. But that's really it. It's just full of missed opportunity after missed opportunity after missed opportunity after missed opportunity after missed opportunity. You know, I was watching this thinking, this could make a great Christmas film if they actually told the right story. but they don't tell the right story, and it's got this perverted sense of humour which I really don't like, and which rubbed me up the wrong way. And also, it's just... it's a very weird film that doesn't know what it wants to be. And it didn't make me feel Christmassy. And that is its biggest fault. As a so-called Christmas movie, it didn't make me feel Christmassy. And that's pretty much my feelings on Jack Frost as a whole. And so, all in all, as what he said, and as I'm going to say it once more in this podcast today, Jack Frost is a 2 out of 10 from me. Anyway, guys, that's it for today's podcast. If you have seen Jack Frost, please let me know your thoughts on it in the comment section below. And as always, thank you for watching or listening to this podcast. And if you haven't yet, please do click down below and like and subscribe on this video. And look forward to many more videos and many more podcasts coming very, very soon on this channel. As I've already said, thank you so much for watching or listening to this podcast. And I suppose this is it. So I will see you guys again soon. But bye for now. Bye.